Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Timbo Pham. Thanks for joining us tonight on Studio 41. Tonight we're introducing our feature segment called This Coug Believes. It's inspired by none other than Edward R. Murrow and his This I Believe radio program. This Coug Believes spotlights an individual at Washington State University as they share a statement of their personal beliefs or values that guide their thoughts and actions. Our first Coug is Jason Cox, a junior at WSU. Let's take a look.
This Coug believes that God is with me through everything, that He loves us, and that we should live for Him. I choose to sing His praises and reveal His freedom to me.
Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me.
You know, there's a lot of hurting people on this campus, and it really breaks my heart. And somehow, in my own little way, I really hope that I can bring a little bit of light to their lives by singing. I learned how to love others and myself and Him. I'm not perfect at all. In fact, it was in those moments that I realized how immensely imperfect I really am. But God is good, and He's just poured so much joy into me.
What a fascinating take on life. Studio 41 would like to thank Jason Cox for sharing with us. If there's a belief you would like to share on This Coug Believes, you can find our guidelines for your statement on our Facebook page, Studio 41. After the break, we have highlights of the man who many called the student's president. Stay with us. Welcome back. Former WSU President Glenn Terrell died on August 30th. I have been covering this story for Murrow News 8 since his passing and would like to share with you the highlights of his life from the interviews from his closest friends and colleagues. The Cougar family lost one of its most influential leaders. Former WSU President Glenn Terrell died last month. He was recognized as a gentle leader and a gentleman.
Oh gosh, he was the most friendly, outgoing man I've ever worked with. He was kind-hearted, and he always put himself second. He never put himself first.
Many refer to President Terrell as the student's president. Every morning, he would stop and talk to students on his walk to his office from the president's mansion. Jen DeVleming was Terrell's executive assistant. She knew he would be late every day because of his conversations with students.
I always remembered in advance. Now remember, if he meets someone, especially a student, who needs attention, he won't be here for another hour, so get ready. And that just was the way he was.
Bob Smalley, a longtime employee and friend, says Terrell treated students as if they were his own kids, always patient and calm. In 1970, a campus-wide protest broke out. Terrell believed his job was to keep the peace and let students express themselves.
With the students, and I don't want any of them arrested. And I'm going to be out there in the hallway with him. And he says, I feel the same way they do on many of the issues. And he says, I just want to sit down and visit with them and tell them how we could work together to maybe face the challenges that we have now.
President Terrell was also well known for addressing controversial issues, including racial and gender equality. He established a commission on the status of women and created ethnic studies programs. On Thursday, WSU held a celebration of life to honor President Terrell's legacy. Dozens of people gathered in the Terrell Library to remember President Terrell and hear from some of his closest family, friends, and co-workers, including 2 former WSU presidents.
There is no question all of us who serve in these positions love our students collectively. Glenn loved them one at a time.
I promised I wouldn't get emotional and cry it out. But it was a wonderful time.
His mark will always be a part of who and what we are as an institution. And we will always, always nurture, protect, and preserve his legacy.
People walked down the brick road known as the Glenn Terrell Friendship Mall to honor a man who set the path for success for thousands of students and faculty every day. He was one of a kind. He was the best in the West. He was a Cougar through and through.
Yo, Cougs!
President Terrell was clearly a cherished man among the faculty and students during his term here at Washington State University. He will be missed throughout the Cougar community. And when we come back, we'll continue our coverage on Cougar Pride with our Man on the Street segment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Studio 41. Are you proud to be a WSU Cougar? Well, Studio 41 sent Kyle Simchuk for our Man on the Street to find out what makes Cougars like you proud to be a Coug.
Thanks, Timbo. I'm here talking with Cougs young and old to see what fuels their Cougar pride. The Gerard family came all the way from Olympia to celebrate Cougar Pride. Tell us what gives you guys Cougar Pride.
Just the Cougar people, the Cougar family, waving the flag, Mike Leach and the football program turning the corner and starting to be really good.
We're just both alumni and we love it. Our girls love it. We come here for weekends and it's just a great family thing to do.
And do we have some future Cougs here?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This is Randy from Kent, and Randy, tell us why you love being a Coug so much.
Well, my daughter goes to school here. She's a junior this year, and she's really part of the Cougs and Gals organization. She really supports it. It's a great facility and a great college for her to go to.
I love being a Cougar fan because of all the people and the community, and everybody just yells "Go Cougs" no matter what.
Yeah, just as he said, and then all of the energy of the sports, just everyone is up on their feet and just screaming as loud as you possibly can. Then the morning after, you've lost your voice just because you love cheering so much at the sport.
I'm proud to be a Coug because I love this school. I love the community that it brings, and I love the school spirit. I mean, I'm traveling this weekend, and every time that I go through an airport, I'm always wearing crimson and gray, and I always get to go Cougs. It's probably the best part of living in Pullman.
Some more fans. I'm here with Rick. Rick, what fuels your Cougar pride?
I graduated from WSU in 1975, and being a Cougar is a way of life. It's not just a happening or a one-time thing.
So I'm here with Doug, and Doug, could you just tell me real quick what fuels your Cougar pride?
Well, I've been a Coug for life. Born in Spokane. My grandpa went here in 1919. I went here. My sister went here. My oldest kid graduated from here. I have a freshman here. The only black spot I have is I have a daughter that went to the dark side.
I traveled all over the world, and every place around the world I went and wore a Cougar hat, somebody would come and say, "Go Cougs." Cougar pride is well and strong.
Most of the people I talk to agree that it seems like they can find Cougars everywhere. The flag doesn't just wave here in Pullman. For Studio 41, I'm Kyle Simchuk. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kyle. We sure have an abundance of Cougar pride throughout the Cougar family. I know I'm proud to be a Coug because of the world-class education I've received and all the opportunities I've had to pursue my dreams. Coming up after the break, we'll be talking with our reporter Hagen Sandoval to find out about the myths and legends he found in his research on the Pullman campus. We'll be right back. Our reporter Hagen Sandoval did research about some of the myths and legends he found on the Pullman campus. Thanks for being with us tonight, Hagen. Tell us about some of the things you found out about WSU.
Well, you know, there's a lot of history and a lot of stories here on the Pullman campus, some dating back to the 1920s.
What are some of the stories you found out?
Well, when I first started my research, I couldn't help but overhear some of the scary stories that were going around campus. For one, did you know that Stevens Hall is supposedly haunted? I found that out according to Washington State Magazine. WSU custodians were cleaning the halls for the summer when they went to Stevens Hall. They noticed a 5 by 6 foot area of carpet missing from the room. They wrote it in as vandalism. But they later reached the room where blood was splattered all over the wall in the far corner. The police were called and officials connected the blood to a missing persons report of a girl who had never returned home for summer vacation. The body wasn't found until 3 months later when a road crew found the girl wrapped in carpet on the side of the highway near Lewiston. The magazine says residents of Stevens Hall, especially those who live in the basement, often complain of strange noises, doors opening, screams, and other spooky occurrences.
Wow. I wonder how many of the current residents realize that happened in their hall.
Well, I know if it was me, Timbo, I would certainly try to transfer. But this next story is certainly going to tunnel your interests. Underneath the beautiful Pullman campus are miles of underground tunnels, and they connect to almost every building. According to the Washington State Magazine, university records show that the earliest tunnels were built in the 1920s to heat the men's gym in Bryan Hall. The tunnels are now used discreetly to circulate heat and water and house things like phone and computer connections. I actually found a YouTube video on a few souls who dared to enter, who dared to enter down under in the tunnels.
I think I might have burned my leg on something.
Yeah, I burned my hand on definitely on something. I touched one of the places.
Are we gonna?
Wow, so that's what it really looks like down there. You know, I've always heard of it, but I never thought it was true. And I don't think I would even go down there at this point.
Well, you know, there's a lot of cobwebs, some small spaces, and it looks like it's pretty dark.
Well, it's been exciting to hear all about all your findings. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight on Studio 41. If you have a public issue you would like us to investigate or explain, follow us on Twitter at Studio41_Cable8 or like our Facebook page at Studio 41. Good night and go Cougs.
Good night and good luck.